Hey there, welcome to the View from the Pew podcast. It's always fun to talk to rock and roll musicians, and one of my favorite bands is Switchfoot. And it's great to have Chad Butler, drummer of Switchfoot, with us. Chad, how's the summer going for you guys?
Oh, it's going well. Thanks for having me on, Chris. Glad to be here.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. You guys been pretty busy with the tours. I know if the summer there's a lot of festivals going on. Have you been kept busy with just concerts so far?
Yeah, this year we've been recording a new album.
Oh, wow.
We started off in Nashville at the beginning of the year, and then we've been at our studio in San Diego, recording and writing and working on a new project. So that's been really fun. That's kept us busy. And this summer, yeah, like you said, we've been out doing some festivals. It's just great to play rock and roll outside in the summertime, man. It's great energy.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, obviously playing music is fun wherever you do it. What's the difference going into like a large outdoor festival? I mean, you're going to be in Ohio Saturday for the Alive Festival. Is there a difference to playing outdoor than indoor? Do you have to get a different mindset? What's it like for you guys?
Yeah, I think as a rock band, we live and breathe on stage. We fuel off the energy of the crowd. And at an outdoor festival, you've got, thousands of people right there in front of the stage singing along. And to me, the beauty is at a festival, you've got so many different artists on the bill and different genres represented, different styles of music. And so it attracts a really diverse crowd, a really diverse audience. And to see everybody from different walks of life singing along, singing the same song together is a beautiful picture of the power of music, that it can bring people together. And I think that, in this day and age, in our society, that is more rare than ever to see people come together like that and be unified. So for us, it's a privilege to be able to get on stage and experience that together in a live setting like that.
One thing I was thinking, you guys have done this for a long time, so I'm sure you're familiar with it. But you guys grew up on the West Coast, and now you're traveling nationally and everything. What's it like being on the East Coast? Have you gotten the feel for like being in places like Ohio and Illinois like you are today? Is it different at all? Or I mean, I know you guys used to West Coast time. What's it like traveling like you guys do?
Yeah, it is different. Growing up in California, we got the beach, grew up surfing and playing music together. And, oddly enough, we ended up touring in Ohio more than we did in California in the early days. For some reason, Ohio has always given us opportunities to get on stage and play music, even from the early small club shows playing with, just a few dozen people, maybe a few hundred people, all the way up to now playing on big festival stages. There's just something great about the connection we've been able to have with the people in this area.
You were talking about just bringing people together, and I hate to even ask about it. It seems like politics get into all of our conversations. Is it good to be able to have a message that attracts both sides of people? I mean, I know sometimes you talk to musicians who definitely feel one way or the other, but it feels like you guys try to do music that brings everyone together. And that, like as you were saying, that seems to be important today. Has that been an issue, like just having people come at you guys? Because it seems like we're so divided politically, and you guys are a band, you guys are just playing music. How difficult it is just to try to appeal to both sides of the aisle sometimes.
Well, I think music has the ability to speak a language that's outside of those types of categories, those types of divisions. And it's something that has the power to transcend and to bring people together, talking about things bigger than ourselves and bigger than politics or the issues of the day. Really questioning our human existence and purpose and meaning, and finding truth and beauty in songs, and wrestling with human questions. I think for Switchfoot, we've always asked more questions than giving out answers. Really sitting in that tension of wrestling with the things that all of us experience at some point or another, whether it's, 3 o'clock in the morning, wrestling with why you're here on the planet, or, if it's a song about asking questions like, this is your life. Are you who you want to be?
Yeah.
Those are the type of things that I think we gravitate towards, the kind of questions and the kind of issues that transcend politics.
And I gotta credit you guys. I remember talking to Jerome right before you guys released your last album, and he was saying, "Boy, this is going to be a little different." And he was asking some questions about how he thinks the public would receive it. And it was a great album, especially for kind of the time that we were in with COVID and everything else. I think it did exactly what you guys were talking about. Just kind of raised questions, but it kind of did in a way that was accommodating for everybody. It was really a really good piece. I'm excited to hear you guys recording again. What's the new album going to be like? Are you guys kind of do the same type of musical style, or are you still kind of looking at what you're trying to do there?
Yeah, I think every new album is an opportunity to explore new themes, to explore new musical styles, and to grow as individuals and as a collective unit. And I think this year especially has allowed us some freedom to not be on the road and to be home with our families and to gain inspiration from everyday life. We're all dads, husbands and fathers, and those are the things that occupy so much of our time these days, and in a wonderful way. To be home with our families and to be in our hometown with our community has been a really good thing the last few months. And I think that we found some real inspiration playing music together and remembering why we play music in the first place. The joy of music itself, of exploring the world through songs. And I think we've really come across some unique Switchfoot moments in the last few months, and some really special songs. I'm excited about seeing those go out into the world in the near future.
Great. When do you expect us to start hearing them? Probably later this year, or is there a timeline?
Potentially. You never want to you never want to limit the process with a deadline, but I would imagine some new music coming sooner than later.
I remember listening to you guys when you just started, and it's funny, we're all getting older now and everything. Do you guys ever pinch yourselves to say, wow, this was a neat thing that we did? It's so cool to be able to continue to do this. I mean, some bands aren't able to do that. The lasting power, is it kind of neat to see you guys grow up together? I'm sure it's been for us as people are listening to music, but being on stage and growing up with these guys.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we've been growing up playing music together for, the last couple decades, and been through every stage of life since then together. And that is really rare for a band to be able to make this much music. To this point, we've made, I think, 12 or 13 records now, depending on which ones count as a full record or whatever. But we've never taken it for granted. Each album is sort of a process of looking at each other and saying, is this worth doing? Is this what we want to be doing with our lives right now? And at this point, yes, we absolutely believe in the wonderful thing that we get to do, to get on stage and to bring people together through music. It's a gift.
Yeah, and I always talk about this with creators. If you create a podcast, I'm a journalist. If you write for a paper, whatever, support your creators. And I would say it to our listeners too. Keep supporting Switchfoot. Obviously, they do things nationally, but you guys rely on the support. If it's listens or album sales or whatever, keep doing that. It definitely helps you guys out. What can we expect from a Switchfoot concert on Saturday? I mean, you guys are a unique perspective. Your album's been out for a few years. Obviously, you've had a lot of stuff you guys do at concerts. Is it going to be a lot of everything from over your career?
That's a good question. Each set list is unique for us. We never do the same show twice. And, even if we tried to script out, okay, we're going to do this set list from start to finish, invariably at some point we respond to the audience and it goes off the rails. The set list is essentially suggestions. And
Yeah.
what really matters is in the moment, seeing the crowd. And sometimes, people will hold up a sign, play this song, or,
Cool.
this is, some connection they had to the music. And sometimes, that's more important than the idea we had of writing this in the first place, is just being together in the moment with the audience. It's a community.
One of the things that's impressive about you guys over the years was you were one of the first bands to kind of go independent. Like, back in the day, record labels were the biggest thing. And, you guys kind of said, hey, we're going to do our own thing. And that was kind of you did that before a lot of other bands did that. Is there kind of a next step you see in the music industry that might be coming that you guys are kind of taking a look at? Because it seems like you were a step ahead of the process when it came to doing your own albums. Is there kind of a next thing in music that we should be looking out for, just in the industry as a whole?
Yeah, I do think all the changes over the last few years with giving artists access to put out music independently is very exciting, especially for young artists that are able to record music so quickly at home without a big budget and a big studio, and to be able to put it out and access a worldwide audience with very little investment. You can do so much independently from home, and I think that's really healthy for just the art itself. There's less barriers to putting your ideas out into the world, and for us, at this stage of our career, to be independent and to be able to do things on our own timeline without many restrictions is a dream come true. So yeah, we're just enjoying that and exploring all that the world has to offer at this point, and we're very excited about making new music this year.
Definitely. How does, and I know you guys play in Christian and mainstream circles, but there's been a lot of things said about the Newsboys and the Michael Tate thing over the past couple of weeks. How does that, in your opinion, affect the industry? And obviously every band does their own thing, and there's parameters built in that you guys do that. But how do you guys react to something like that? I mean, is it something that you guys got to say, hey, we got to keep a sharp look at this? Or how do you guys react to that? Because I know there's a lot of people out there that are trying to figure out what happens next in the music industry after what's been happening over the past few weeks.
Yeah, I think anytime in any industry when there's that kind of a tragic situation, it's really sad and it's grievous, but it's also, sort of a heart check for everyone to take a look in the mirror and to examine your own life. And I think, I'd feel obviously for the people affected and the people around those organizations. I mean, that's a terribly sad situation. And I think, in terms of accountability and just the most important thing being that each one of us can stay connected to other people, and to be honest with ourselves and with each other.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. Well, hey, I want to respect your time. I know you got practice coming up in a few minutes. Anything else you want to add before we end for today?
Wow. What a gift to get to talk about music and to get to be alive on the planet at the same time. Thank you for your time, Chris. And, I guess as Switchfoot, we have a mantra: life is short, live it well. That's been something that we've hung on to for a long time, and it still means a lot today.
Well, unfortunately, because of work, I can't personally make the Alive festival on Saturday. But if you can make it, definitely check it out. Switchfoot concerts are always fun, and looking forward to you guys being up in Ohio. And hopefully you guys will make it back. I'm sure you'll tour for the new album. So looking forward to seeing you guys make it back to Ohio. All right. Well, Chad, hang on just for a second. Thanks again for checking us out. Give us a like and subscribe, and have a great day.